Welcome to Question Bank Hub. Millwright Red Seal Exam Practice. 135 questions, answered and explained. Based on the 2017 Red Seal Occupational Standard. This exam covers 135 questions across 6 major work activities. Questions test knowledge recall, procedural application, and critical thinking. Take your time with each question, and let's begin. Question 1. What is the primary purpose of a job safety analysis, JSA, before starting millwright work? A. To identify hazards and determine control measures for each step of the task. B. To calculate the cost of the job. C. To determine how many workers are needed. D. To schedule the maintenance work. The correct answer is A. To identify hazards and determine control measures for each step of the task. A job safety analysis, JSA, identifies hazards associated with each step of a task and determines appropriate control measures to eliminate or minimize risks. This proactive approach to safety helps prevent accidents before they occur by ensuring workers understand the hazards and how to protect themselves. Question 2. When working with rotating machinery, what type of personal protective equipment is specifically prohibited? A. Safety glasses with side shields. B. Loose-fitting clothing and jewelry. C. Steel-toed safety boots. D. Over-the-ear hearing protection. The correct answer is B. Loose-fitting clothing and jewelry. Loose-fitting clothing, jewelry, and anything that can be caught in rotating machinery must not be worn. These items can become entangled in shafts, couplings, or belt drives, pulling the worker into the machinery. Long hair must also be tied back and contained when working around rotating equipment. Question 3. What must be verified after applying lockout/tagout to equipment? A. That the lock serial number is recorded. B. That a second worker witnessed the lockout. C. That all energy sources are at zero energy state through tryout. D. That the equipment maintenance log is updated. The correct answer is C. That all energy sources are at zero energy state through tryout. After applying lockout/tagout, a tryout must be performed to verify all energy sources are at zero energy state. This involves attempting to operate the equipment controls to confirm isolation is effective. This verification step is critical because failed or incomplete isolation has caused serious injuries and fatalities. Question 4. What is the minimum oxygen level considered safe for entry into a confined space? A. 25%. B. 21%. C. 15%. D. 19.5%. The correct answer is D. 19.5%. The minimum oxygen level for safe confined space entry is 19.5%. Below this level, there is not enough oxygen for safe respiration. Normal atmospheric oxygen is approximately 20.9%. Levels below 19.5% indicate oxygen displacement or consumption and require respiratory protection. Question 5. A millwright needs to perform maintenance on a pump that has multiple energy sources including electrical, hydraulic, and pneumatic. What is the correct approach? A. All energy sources must be identified, isolated, and locked out before work begins. B. Only the electrical source needs to be locked out. C. The hydraulic system can remain pressurized if the pump is not running. D. Pneumatic energy dissipates quickly and does not need lockout. The correct answer is A. All energy sources must be identified, isolated, and locked out before work begins. All energy sources affecting the equipment must be identified, isolated, and locked out before maintenance. This includes electrical, hydraulic, pneumatic, mechanical, springs, gravity, thermal, and chemical energy. Each energy source can cause injury if released unexpectedly. Complex lockout situations require careful planning and multiple isolation points. Question 6. Before working at heights above 3 meters, what fall protection requirement applies? A. Fall protection is optional at this height. B. An appropriate fall protection system must be used. C. Only a hard hat is required. D. A spotter on the ground is sufficient. The correct answer is B. An appropriate fall protection system must be used. When working at heights above 3 meters, or lower in some jurisdictions, an appropriate fall protection system must be used. This may include guardrails, fall arrest systems, or fall restraint systems depending on the work conditions. Falls are a leading cause of workplace fatalities in industrial settings. Question 7. What is the correct tool for holding a shaft while removing a coupling nut? A. Pipe wrench directly on the shaft. B. Locking pliers on the coupling hub. C. Strap wrench on the shaft. D. Brass drift and hammer combination. The correct answer is C. Strap wrench on the shaft. A strap wrench is the correct tool for holding a shaft while removing a coupling nut. It provides grip without damaging the shaft surface, which is critical for maintaining proper fit with bearings and seals. Pipe wrenches and vice grips would damage the precision shaft surface. Question 8. When using an angle grinder, what safety precaution is essential? A. Operate at maximum speed for faster cutting. B. Remove the guard for better visibility. C. Use any available disc regardless of rating. D. Ensure the guard is in place and disc is rated for the grinder speed. The correct answer is D. Ensure the guard is in place and disc is rated for the grinder speed. The guard must always be in place and the disc must be rated for the grinder's operating speed or higher. Using a disc rated below the grinder speed risks disc explosion at operating speed. The guard protects the operator from disc fragments and sparks. Never remove guards or use mismatched equipment. Question 9. What precision measuring instrument is used to check shaft runout? A. Dial indicator mounted on a magnetic base. B. Outside micrometer. C. Steel rule. D. Vernier caliper. The correct answer is A. Dial indicator mounted on a magnetic base. A dial indicator mounted on a magnetic base is used to check shaft runout. The indicator is positioned against the shaft surface while the shaft is rotated. Total indicator reading shows the runout, the difference between the highest and lowest readings during one complete shaft rotation. Question 10. Before using an outside micrometer to measure a shaft diameter, what should be done? A. Oil the shaft to improve measurement accuracy. B. Clean both the shaft and micrometer faces, then zero-check the micrometer. C. Heat the micrometer to match shop temperature. D. Apply layout dye to the measurement location. The correct answer is B. Clean both the shaft and micrometer faces, then zero-check the micrometer. Before measuring, clean both the shaft and the micrometer measuring faces to remove debris that affects accuracy. Then verify the micrometer's zero by closing it on the zero standard, or closed for 0 to 25 mm micrometers. Temperature stabilization is also important. Micrometers and workpieces should be at the same temperature. Question 11. When using oxyfuel cutting, what is the correct sequence to shut down the equipment? A. Close acetylene first, then oxygen. B. Close both valves simultaneously. C. Close oxygen first, then acetylene, then close cylinder valves and bleed lines. D. Simply close the cylinder valves. The correct answer is C. Close oxygen first, then acetylene, then close cylinder valves and bleed lines. The correct shutdown sequence is to close the oxygen first, which extinguishes the flame, then close the acetylene. Next, close the cylinder valves and bleed the hoses by opening and closing the torch valves. This sequence prevents flashback and ensures gas does not remain in the hoses. Question 12. A millwright notices that a wrench handle has a crack near the box end. What is the correct action? A. Use the wrench only for light-duty work. B. Weld repair the crack and grind smooth. C. Wrap tape around the area to reinforce it. D. Remove the tool from service and tag it for disposal. The correct answer is D. Remove the tool from service and tag it for disposal. A cracked tool must be removed from service immediately and tagged for disposal. Cracked tools can fail catastrophically under load, causing injury. Welding or other repairs to hand tools is not acceptable as it affects the tool's metallurgical properties and load-bearing capacity. Question 13. On a mechanical drawing, what does a centerline symbol represent? A. The axis of a cylindrical feature or the center of a symmetric part. B. A hidden edge below the surface. C. A cutting plane for section views. D. The boundary of the raw material. The correct answer is A. The axis of a cylindrical feature or the center of a symmetric part. A centerline, shown as long short long dashes, represents the axis of a cylindrical feature or the center of a symmetric part. Centerlines are essential for understanding part geometry, dimensioning, and locating features. They do not represent physical edges but rather geometric reference lines. Question 14. When interpreting an assembly drawing, how are individual parts identified? A. By their shading pattern on the drawing. B. By part numbers or item numbers reference to a bill of materials. C. By their relative size in the assembly. D. By their location on the drawing sheet. The correct answer is B. By part numbers or item numbers reference to a bill of materials. Individual parts in an assembly drawing are identified by part numbers or item numbers that reference a parts list, bill of materials. This allows the mechanic to identify each component, determine spare part numbers, and understand how parts relate to each other in the assembly. Question 15. When planning a pump replacement job, what should be determined first? A. The foundation bolt torque sequence. B. The disposal method for the old pump. C. The isolation and lockout requirements and whether spares are available. D. The operating parameters after installation. The correct answer is C. The isolation and lockout requirements and whether spares are available. Planning should first determine isolation and lockout requirements, for safety, and verify spare parts availability. Without proper isolation planning, work cannot proceed safely. Without confirmed spare availability, the job may stall midway. Other considerations follow once these critical items are addressed. Question 16. What information is found on a bearing's part number suffix or prefix? A. The date of manufacture only. B. The warehouse storage location. C. The bearing inspection results. D. Internal clearance, sealing, cage type, and other configuration details. The correct answer is D. Internal clearance, sealing, cage type, and other configuration details. Bearing part number suffixes and prefixes indicate configuration details such as internal clearance class, C2, C3, C4, sealing type, 2RS, ZZ, cage material, M, P, and special features. Understanding these designations ensures the correct replacement bearing is selected for the application. Question 17. During job planning, a millwright discovers that the required replacement bearing is not in stock and has a 3-week lead time. What is the best course of action? A. Notify the supervisor and discuss options including expediting or alternative sourcing. B. Install a similar bearing from a different manufacturer without verification. C. Continue using the worn bearing until the new one arrives. D. Postpone the job indefinitely without communication. The correct answer is A. Notify the supervisor and discuss options including expediting or alternative sourcing. When critical parts are unavailable, the supervisor should be notified immediately to discuss options. These may include expedited shipping, alternative sourcing from other suppliers, or reviewing if a suitable equivalent exists. Using unverified alternatives or worn components can lead to equipment failure. Question 18. When documenting a work order, what information is most important to include? A. Personal assessment of equipment design quality. B. What was done, parts used, time spent, and any abnormalities observed. C. The ambient temperature during the repair. D. Names of all personnel in the maintenance shop. The correct answer is B. What was done, parts used, time spent, and any abnormalities observed. Work order documentation should include what was done, parts used, with part numbers, time spent, and any abnormalities observed. This information creates a maintenance history that helps with troubleshooting, planning future maintenance, tracking costs, and identifying recurring problems. Question 19. What is the purpose of a computerized maintenance management system, CMMS? A. To automate equipment operation remotely. B. To design new plant equipment layouts. C. To track equipment, schedule maintenance, and manage work orders and spare parts. D. To control production line sequencing. The correct answer is C. To track equipment, schedule maintenance, and manage work orders and spare parts. A CMMS tracks equipment assets, schedules preventive maintenance, manages work orders, and controls spare parts inventory. It provides historical data for maintenance analysis and helps optimize maintenance programs. Understanding CMMS operation is essential for modern millwrights. Question 20. When mentoring an apprentice on bearing installation, what teaching approach is most effective? A. Have the apprentice read the manual and work independently. B. Perform the work while the apprentice observes only. C. Let the apprentice learn through trial and error. D. Explain the procedure, demonstrate, then supervise the apprentice's practice while providing feedback. The correct answer is D. Explain the procedure, demonstrate, then supervise the apprentice's practice while providing feedback. Effective mentoring combines explanation of the procedure and reasoning, demonstration of proper technique, then supervised practice with feedback. This approach builds both skill and understanding. Simply watching or unsupervised trial and error can result in poor habits or damaged equipment. Question 21. A millwright discovers a serious safety concern during routine maintenance. What is the appropriate immediate action? A. Stop work, secure the area, and immediately report to the supervisor. B. Continue work and report at the end of the shift. C. Repair the concern without documenting it. D. Monitor the situation to see if it worsens. The correct answer is A. Stop work, secure the area, and immediately report to the supervisor. Serious safety concerns require immediate action. Stop work, secure the area to prevent others from exposure, and immediately report to the supervisor. Delaying reporting of safety concerns can result in injuries. The concern should be documented and addressed before work resumes. Question 22. When measuring material for fabrication, what allowance must be added for saw blade kerf? A. No allowance is needed for precision cuts. B. The width of the saw blade cut, approximately 3 mm for typical band saws. C. 10% of the total material length. D. 25 mm on each side of every cut. The correct answer is B. The width of the saw blade cut, approximately 3 mm for typical band saws. Saw blade kerf, the width of material removed by the saw, must be accounted for when measuring and cutting. Typical band saw kerf is approximately 3 mm. Failure to account for kerf results in undersized parts. When making multiple cuts from one piece, each kerf must be included in the layout. Question 23. What layout tool is used to scribe accurate lines on metal surfaces? A. Carpenter's pencil. B. Snap chalk line. C. Scriber or height gauge with carbide tip. D. Permanent felt marker. The correct answer is C. Scriber or height gauge with carbide tip. A scriber or height gauge with a carbide tip is used to scribe accurate layout lines on metal. The hardened tip creates a fine, permanent line that can be seen during machining or fabrication. Pencil and marker lines are too thick and can be wiped off. Chalk lines are for rough layout only. Question 24. What is the correct procedure for drilling a hole in hardened steel? A. Use maximum speed with heavy feed pressure. B. Use a standard HSS drill without coolant. C. Use a masonry drill bit at moderate speed. D. Use a carbide or cobalt drill at slow speed with cutting fluid. The correct answer is D. Use a carbide or cobalt drill at slow speed with cutting fluid. Hardened steel requires carbide or cobalt drills running at slower speeds with cutting fluid. High speed causes excessive heat that damages the drill. Standard HSS drills cannot cut hardened material effectively. Cutting fluid reduces heat and friction, extending tool life and improving the cut. Question 25. What type of electrode is commonly used for general-purpose mild steel welding in millwright work? A. E7018 low hydrogen electrode. B. E6010 cellulose-coated electrode. C. ER70S 6 MIG wire electrode. D. E308 liters stainless steel electrode. The correct answer is A. E7018 low hydrogen electrode. E7018 low hydrogen electrodes are commonly used for general-purpose mild steel welding. They produce strong, ductile welds with minimal hydrogen that could cause cracking. The 70 indicates 70,000 psi tensile strength, 1 indicates all position, and 8 indicates the low hydrogen coating type. Question 26. What is the standard safety factor applied to rigging equipment working load limits? A. 5:1. B. 2:1. C. 3:1. D. 10:1. The correct answer is A. 5:1. A 5:1 safety factor is standard for rigging equipment. The working load limit, WLL, is the maximum load that can be applied, incorporating this safety margin against the breaking strength. Question 27. When calculating load weight for a lift, what must be included besides the equipment weight? A. Only the dry weight of the equipment. B. Equipment weight plus rigging hardware weight. C. The equipment nameplate rating only. D. The foundation weight below the equipment. The correct answer is B. Equipment weight plus rigging hardware weight. Total load weight includes the equipment weight plus all rigging hardware, slings, shackles, spreader bars, etc. Overlooking rigging weight can overload equipment. Question 28. What happens to sling capacity when the sling angle decreases below vertical? A. Capacity increases proportionally. B. Capacity stays the same. C. Capacity decreases. D. The angle has no effect on capacity. The correct answer is C. Capacity decreases. Sling capacity decreases as the angle from vertical increases. At 60 degrees from vertical, capacity is reduced to 50% of vertical rating. This is due to increased tension from the horizontal component of the load. Question 29. What type of sling provides the best protection for finished machine surfaces during lifting? A. Wire rope sling with fiber core. B. Alloy steel chain sling. C. Proof-tested steel round sling. D. Synthetic web sling with edge protection. The correct answer is D. Synthetic web sling with edge protection. Synthetic web slings with edge protection are best for finished surfaces. The soft material won't scratch or mar polished surfaces. Wire rope and chain can damage finishes. Question 30. Before a critical lift, what perimeter must be established around the lift area? A. A barricade with warning signs preventing unauthorized entry. B. No perimeter is required for routine lifts. C. Floor tape marking only. D. Verbal warning to nearby workers only. The correct answer is A. A barricade with warning signs preventing unauthorized entry. A physical barricade with warning signs must prevent unauthorized entry into the lift area. This protects workers from the suspended load and falling objects. The barricade should extend beyond the load's potential swing radius. Question 31. During a lift, the load begins to swing unexpectedly. What is the correct immediate action? A. Speed up the lift to minimize swing time. B. Stop the lift, let motion settle, use tag lines to control. C. Have workers push on the load to stop the swing. D. Lower the load immediately at maximum speed. The correct answer is B. Stop the lift, let motion settle, use tag lines to control. Stop the lift, allow motion to settle naturally, then use tag lines to control positioning. Never allow workers to physically contact a suspended load, and rapid movements increase swing. Question 32. What is the purpose of using a choker hitch around a cylindrical load? A. To maximize the sling's rated capacity. B. To spread the load across more contact area. C. To grip the load securely and prevent slipping. D. To reduce the hook height required. The correct answer is C. To grip the load securely and prevent slipping. A choker hitch grips cylindrical loads securely to prevent slipping during the lift. The self-tightening action increases grip as load is applied. However, this reduces sling capacity to approximately 75%. Question 33. What hand signal indicates emergency stop to a crane operator? A. Thumb up with arm extended. B. Closed fist moving in circles overhead. C. Arms crossed above the head. D. Both arms extended, palms down, moving rapidly side to side. The correct answer is D. Both arms extended, palms down, moving rapidly side to side. Emergency stop is signaled by both arms extended with palms down, moving rapidly side to side. This distinctive motion is immediately recognizable and distinguishes it from other signals. Question 34. When should a lift plan be developed in writing? A. For critical lifts, tandem lifts, or when required by site procedures. B. Only for loads over 100 tons. C. Only when using mobile cranes outdoors. D. Only when specifically requested by supervision. The correct answer is A. For critical lifts, tandem lifts, or when required by site procedures. Written lift plans are required for critical lifts, tandem, multi-crane lifts, or as specified by site procedures. They document load calculations, equipment selection, rigging configuration, and safety measures. Question 35. After setting a load in position, what must be verified before removing rigging? A. That rigging can be quickly reattached if needed. B. That the load is secured, supported, and stable. C. That the crane operator has cleared the area. D. That the work order has been signed off. The correct answer is B. That the load is secured, supported, and stable. Before removing rigging, verify the load is properly secured, supported on adequate blocking over cribbing, and stable. Removing rigging before the load is secure risks it falling or shifting. Question 36. What is the advantage of a hydraulic toe jack over a bottle jack for machinery moving? A. Higher maximum capacity rating. B. Lower purchase cost. C. Can lift from under the edge of equipment with minimal clearance. D. Faster lifting speed under load. The correct answer is C. Can lift from under the edge of equipment with minimal clearance. Hydraulic toe jacks have a low-profile toe that fits under equipment with minimal clearance. The toe provides the initial lift to create space for the ram to continue lifting. Question 37. A millwright is using rollers to move a heavy machine base. The rollers keep drifting to one side. What is the most likely cause? A. The rollers have insufficient load capacity. B. The machine base exceeds the weight limit. C. The rollers have not been properly lubricated. D. The floor is not level, causing the load to track to the low side. The correct answer is D. The floor is not level, causing the load to track to the low side. If rollers drift to one side, the floor likely slopes in that direction. Loads on rollers naturally track toward the low side. The solution may include using steering bars, adjusting the travel path, or correcting the load's balance. Question 38. When using machinery skates to move equipment, what floor condition is essential? A. A clean, smooth, hard surface capable of supporting the concentrated load. B. A carpeted surface to reduce noise. C. Any indoor surface is acceptable. D. A gravel surface for outdoor moves. The correct answer is A. A clean, smooth, hard surface capable of supporting the concentrated load. Machinery skates require a clean, smooth, hard floor that can support the concentrated load from the small contact area. Debris, holes, or soft floors can cause loss of control or equipment damage. Question 39. What is the maximum load typically allowed on one set of 4 machinery skates? A. 100 kilograms for all models. B. Varies by manufacturer, check rated capacity. C. 500 kilograms standard for all skates. D. Unlimited if floor supports it. The correct answer is B. Varies by manufacturer, check rated capacity. Skate capacity varies by manufacturer and model. Always check the rated capacity before use and ensure the load is within limits. Using overloaded skates risks equipment damage and injury. Question 40. Before operating a forklift to move a machine, what must the operator verify? A. That the forklift passed its last annual inspection. B. That a spotter is available to guide movement. C. The load weight is within the forklift's capacity for the specific lift conditions. D. That the travel path has been marked with tape. The correct answer is C. The load weight is within the forklift's capacity for the specific lift conditions. The operator must verify the load weight is within the forklift's capacity for the specific conditions including load center distance, lift height, and ground conditions. Forklift capacity decreases with increased load center and lift height. Question 41. While moving equipment on a forklift, the load starts to tip forward. What is the correct action? A. Speed up to reach the destination faster. B. Raise the load higher for better balance. C. Apply brakes suddenly to shift weight back. D. Lower the load immediately to improve stability. The correct answer is D. Lower the load immediately to improve stability. Lowering the load reduces the tipping moment and improves stability. A high load raises the center of gravity and increases tip-over risk. Lower loads are more stable, especially when stopping or turning. Question 42. What documentation must accompany a new wire rope sling? A. The original purchase order. B. The manufacturer's product catalog. C. A material safety data sheet only. D. A certificate showing WLL, wire diameter, and construction. The correct answer is D. A certificate showing WLL, wire diameter, and construction. New wire rope slings must have a certificate or tag showing working load limit, WLL, wire diameter, rope construction, and manufacturer information. This ensures proper selection and compliance with standards. Question 43. What is a prime mover in an industrial power transmission system? A. The initial source of mechanical power, motor, engine, turbine. B. Any driven equipment in the system. C. The coupling connecting motor to load. D. The gearbox that reduces speed. The correct answer is A. The initial source of mechanical power, motor, engine, turbine. A prime mover is the initial source of mechanical power in a drive system. Common prime movers include electric motors, internal combustion engines, and turbines. They convert energy to mechanical rotation. Question 44. An electric motor is running hot and drawing excessive current. What is the most likely cause? A. Motor is oversized for the application. B. Motor is overloaded or has electrical problems. C. Ambient temperature is below normal. D. Motor cooling fan is running too fast. The correct answer is B. Motor is overloaded or has electrical problems. Excessive current draw and heat typically indicate motor overload or electrical issues like phase imbalance, voltage problems, or winding damage. The motor is working harder than designed, generating excess heat. Question 45. What is the correct method to check motor bearing lubrication condition? A. Monitor vibration amplitude readings only. B. Measure motor voltage and current draw. C. Check bearing temperature, noise, and lubrication quantity per manufacturer specifications. D. Inspect the bearing housing for external damage. The correct answer is C. Check bearing temperature, noise, and lubrication quantity per manufacturer specifications. Proper bearing assessment includes temperature monitoring, listening for abnormal noise, and verifying lubrication meets manufacturer specifications. Overgreasing is as harmful as undergreasing. Question 46. When replacing motor bearings, what must be verified about the new bearings? A. The packaging is undamaged and sealed. B. The bearing brand matches the motor manufacturer. C. The bearing fits snugly by hand without force. D. Part number, clearance class, and sealing type match specifications. The correct answer is D. Part number, clearance class, and sealing type match specifications. Replacement bearings must match the original specifications including part number, internal clearance class, and sealing type. Incorrect bearings can cause premature failure or inadequate performance. Question 47. What determines the rotational speed of a standard AC induction motor? A. Number of poles and supply frequency. B. Supply voltage level only. C. Motor frame size and mounting style. D. Output shaft diameter and length. The correct answer is A. Number of poles and supply frequency. AC induction motor synchronous speed is determined by the number of poles and supply frequency. Speed equals 120x frequency / poles. Actual speed is slightly less due to slip. Question 48. When installing a ball bearing on a shaft using heat, to what temperature should it typically be heated? A. Room temperature only. B. 93 to 121 degrees Celsius, 200 to 250 degrees Fahrenheit. C. Above 260 degrees Celsius, 500 degrees Fahrenheit. D. Just until warm to touch. The correct answer is B. 93 to 121 degrees Celsius, 200 to 250 degrees Fahrenheit. Bearings should be heated to 93 to 121 degrees Celsius, 200 to 250 degrees Fahrenheit, for interference fit installation. This temperature provides sufficient expansion without damaging the bearing. Never exceed 121 degrees Celsius to protect lubricant and heat treatment. Question 49. What type of bearing is designed to handle primarily axial, thrust, loads? A. Deep groove ball bearing. B. Needle roller bearing. C. Angular contact or thrust bearing. D. Cylindrical roller bearing. The correct answer is C. Angular contact or thrust bearing. Angular contact bearings and thrust bearings are designed for axial loads. Deep groove ball bearings handle both but excel at radial. Cylindrical roller and needle bearings are primarily for radial loads. Question 50. A bearing shows discoloration, blue over purple, on the races after removal. What does this indicate? A. Normal wear pattern from break-in period. B. Manufacturing surface treatment residue. C. Excessive grease causing hydraulic pressure. D. Overheating from inadequate lubrication or overload. The correct answer is D. Overheating from inadequate lubrication or overload. Blue over purple discoloration indicates overheating, typically from inadequate lubrication, overload, or misalignment. Heat damages the bearing steel's heat treatment, reducing hardness and life. Question 51. How often should sealed bearings be relubricated? A. Sealed bearings are lubricated for life and not regreased. B. Weekly based on operating hours. C. Monthly during routine maintenance. D. Every shift change as preventive care. The correct answer is A. Sealed bearings are lubricated for life and not regreased. Sealed bearings contain lubricant sealed inside for the bearing's life. They have no provision for relubrication. When lubricant degrades, the bearing is replaced rather than regreased. Question 52. What is the proper method to remove a bearing from a shaft? A. Strike the outer race with a soft face hammer. B. Apply force to the inner race using a bearing puller. C. Heat the shaft and tap the bearing off carefully. D. Apply force to the outer race with a press. The correct answer is B. Apply force to the inner race using a bearing puller. Force must be applied to the inner race when removing from a shaft, the interference fit. Force on the outer race passes through the rolling elements and damages them. Question 53. What is the function of a mechanical seal on a pump shaft? A. To support the shaft radially. B. To couple the motor to the pump. C. To prevent fluid leakage along the rotating shaft. D. To dampen shaft vibration. The correct answer is C. To prevent fluid leakage along the rotating shaft. Mechanical seals prevent fluid leakage where a rotating shaft passes through a stationary housing. They maintain a thin fluid film between rotating and stationary faces for sealing. Question 54. A centrifugal pump mechanical seal is leaking excessively. What is the first thing to check? A. Impeller size and wear ring clearance. B. Motor nameplate power rating and efficiency. C. Pump suction strainer and inlet pressure. D. Shaft alignment and runout, seal face condition, and proper installation. The correct answer is D. Shaft alignment and runout, seal face condition, and proper installation. Mechanical seal leakage often results from shaft misalignment, excessive runout, damaged seal faces, or improper installation. These factors cause uneven contact pressure or gaps in the sealing interface. Question 55. What type of coupling can accommodate angular, parallel, and axial misalignment? A. Flexible coupling with elastomeric element. B. Rigid flange coupling. C. Solid sleeve coupling. D. Bolted flange coupling. The correct answer is A. Flexible coupling with elastomeric element. Flexible couplings with elastomeric elements, jaw, tire, disc types, accommodate all three types of misalignment. Rigid couplings transmit misalignment forces directly to bearings. Question 56. A coupling's elastomeric spider shows rapid wear. What is the most likely cause? A. Coupling torque rating exceeds requirements. B. Excessive misalignment or overload. C. Ambient temperature below specifications. D. Spider material is too hard for application. The correct answer is B. Excessive misalignment or overload. Rapid spider wear indicates the coupling is working harder than designed, usually from excessive misalignment forcing the element to continuously flex, or from overload stressing the material beyond limits. Question 57. When inspecting a grid coupling, what condition requires immediate element replacement? A. Light surface oxidation on grid. B. Grid shows polished contact marks. C. Missing or cracked grid sections, or significant wear on grid contact surfaces. D. Coupling housing is slightly warm. The correct answer is C. Missing or cracked grid sections, or significant wear on grid contact surfaces. Missing or cracked grid sections compromise coupling strength and can fail suddenly under load. Significant wear on contact surfaces indicates the coupling is nearing end of life. Question 58. What is the purpose of the gap between coupling hubs? A. To provide access for lubrication. B. To simplify the installation process. C. To accommodate the coupling element width. D. To allow for thermal expansion and prevent thrust loading. The correct answer is D. To allow for thermal expansion and prevent thrust loading. The gap between coupling hubs allows for shaft thermal expansion without transmitting thrust loads through the coupling to bearings. The gap is specified by the manufacturer. Question 59. What type of device allows engagement and disengagement of a rotating drive while under load? A. Clutch. B. Rigid coupling. C. Flexible coupling. D. Shaft collar. The correct answer is A. Clutch. Clutches allow controlled engagement and disengagement of rotating drives while running. They can be mechanical, pneumatic, hydraulic, or electromagnetic depending on application requirements. Question 60. What type of gear mesh produces thrust loads that must be absorbed by bearings? A. Spur gears with straight teeth. B. Helical and bevel gears. C. Worm gears produce negligible thrust. D. All gear types produce identical thrust. The correct answer is B. Helical and bevel gears. Helical and bevel gears produce axial thrust loads due to the angle of their teeth. This thrust must be absorbed by bearings designed for axial loads. Spur gears produce minimal thrust. Question 61. A gearbox suddenly becomes much noisier. What should be checked first? A. Gearbox housing external surface condition. B. Input coupling alignment to motor shaft. C. Oil level and condition, gear mesh pattern, and bearing condition. D. Foundation anchor bolt torque only. The correct answer is C. Oil level and condition, gear mesh pattern, and bearing condition. Sudden noise increase indicates possible lubrication failure, gear damage, or bearing problems. Check oil level and condition first, then inspect gear mesh patterns and bearing condition. Question 62. What determines the correct oil level in a gearbox? A. Fill to the maximum possible capacity. B. Use the minimum quantity for splash contact. C. Fill to cover all gears completely. D. Per manufacturer specifications, typically to the sight glass or dipstick mark. The correct answer is D. Per manufacturer specifications, typically to the sight glass or dipstick mark. Gearbox oil level is specified by the manufacturer and checked via sight glass, dipstick, or level plug. Too much oil causes churning and overheating, too little causes inadequate lubrication. Question 63. When replacing a gear, what must match between new and old gears? A. Module or pitch, pressure angle, helix angle, and material. B. Bore diameter and keyway size only. C. Face width and hub length only. D. Number of teeth and shaft diameter only. The correct answer is A. Module or pitch, pressure angle, helix angle, and material. Replacement gears must match the original in module, pitch, pressure angle, helix angle, for helical, and material overheat treatment. Mismatched parameters prevent proper meshing. Question 64. What gear arrangement provides the highest ratio reduction in a compact design? A. Spur gear train. B. Worm gear drive. C. Helical gear pair. D. Bevel gear set. The correct answer is B. Worm gear drive. Worm gear drives can achieve very high reduction ratios, up to 100:1, in a compact single-stage design. The worm threads mesh with worm wheel teeth, providing significant reduction. Question 65. When installing multiple V-belts on a drive, what is essential for proper operation? A. Use belts from different manufacturers for redundancy. B. Combine new and used belts to reduce cost. C. Install a matched belt set from the same manufacturer and production run. D. Select belts based on availability regardless of specifications. The correct answer is C. Install a matched belt set from the same manufacturer and production run. Multiple V-belts must be a matched set to ensure equal load sharing. Unmatched belts have slightly different lengths, causing some belts to carry more load and wear faster. Question 66. A V-belt is squealing on startup. What is the most likely cause? A. Belt tension is too high. B. Motor is oversized for the application. C. Sheave center distance is too short. D. Belt is slipping due to insufficient tension or worn sheave grooves. The correct answer is D. Belt is slipping due to insufficient tension or worn sheave grooves. Belt squeal typically indicates slipping from insufficient tension or worn sheave grooves that don't grip the belt properly. The belt slips in the grooves, especially under starting load. Question 67. How should V-belt tension be checked? A. By measuring deflection under a specified force. B. By feel and experience only. C. Belts should always be as tight as possible. D. By visual inspection of belt sag. The correct answer is A. By measuring deflection under a specified force. Belt tension is checked by measuring deflection under a specified force. The proper deflection is typically 1/64 inch per inch of span length when a specific force is applied. Question 68. What causes roller chain to elongate during service? A. Stretching of the link side plates. B. Wear on pins and bushings creating slack. C. Thermal expansion from friction heat. D. Lubricant contamination causing swelling. The correct answer is B. Wear on pins and bushings creating slack. Chain stretch is actually wear on pins and bushings that accumulates as clearance at each joint. This total wear across many links appears as elongation. Plates do not actually stretch. Question 69. When should roller chain and sprockets be replaced together? A. Only when chain breaks during operation. B. Only when replacing the chain. C. When either component shows significant wear. D. Only when replacing the sprockets. The correct answer is C. When either component shows significant wear. Worn chain and sprockets should be replaced together. New chain on worn sprockets, or vice versa, will not mesh properly and will wear rapidly due to mismatched profiles. Question 70. What is the first step in aligning a motor to a pump? A. Adjust motor position with shims. B. Make angular corrections first. C. Check and set coupling gap. D. Establish the driven machine, pump, position as the reference. The correct answer is D. Establish the driven machine, pump, position as the reference. The driven machine is typically fixed as the reference since changing piping is difficult. The driver, motor, is then adjusted to align with it. Pump position is set first, then motor adjusted. Question 71. What two types of misalignment must be corrected during precision alignment? A. Angular and offset, parallel. B. Vertical and horizontal position. C. Axial and radial runout. D. Static and dynamic imbalance. The correct answer is A. Angular and offset, parallel. Precision alignment corrects both angular misalignment, shaft centerlines at an angle, and offset over parallel misalignment, shaft centerlines parallel but not collinear. Both are checked and corrected. Question 72. When using dial indicators for alignment, where are readings taken? A. On the motor frame and base plate. B. On the coupling hub faces and rims at multiple angular positions. C. On the foundation bolt locations. D. On the motor shaft end only. The correct answer is B. On the coupling hub faces and rims at multiple angular positions. Dial indicators are mounted to read on coupling hub faces, 4 angular, and rims, 4 offset, at 0, 90, 180, and 270 degree positions. This data allows calculation of required corrections. Question 73. Laser alignment shows acceptable cold alignment, but the machine vibrates excessively when running at operating temperature. What is the likely issue? A. Laser equipment calibration is incorrect. B. Vibration is inherent to this machine type. C. Thermal growth was not accounted for in the cold alignment. D. Foundation stiffness is excessive. The correct answer is C. Thermal growth was not accounted for in the cold alignment. Machines grow as they heat up, thermal growth. Cold alignment must account for differential thermal expansion so that alignment is correct at operating temperature. Improper thermal compensation causes hot misalignment. Question 74. What advantage does laser alignment have over dial indicator alignment? A. Lower initial equipment cost. B. Dial indicators are always more accurate. C. Laser systems require minimal training. D. Faster measurement, automatic calculations, and less bracket sag error. The correct answer is D. Faster measurement, automatic calculations, and less bracket sag error. Laser alignment systems provide faster measurements, automatic calculation of required moves, and minimize bracket sag errors. They also store data for trending and documentation. Question 75. What type of conveyor is best suited for handling hot materials like foundry castings? A. Apron or slat conveyor with metal slats. B. Rubber belt conveyor. C. Plastic modular belt conveyor. D. Fabric belt conveyor. The correct answer is A. Apron or slat conveyor with metal slats. Apron or slat conveyors with metal slats are ideal for hot materials. Metal construction withstands high temperatures that would damage rubber or plastic belts. The overlapping slats also contain materials effectively. Question 76. When tracking a conveyor belt, which roller should be adjusted first? A. Any roller selected at random. B. The tail pulley or return idlers where mistracking is first observed. C. The head pulley regardless of location. D. The closest snub roller to the drive. The correct answer is B. The tail pulley or return idlers where mistracking is first observed. Start adjustments where the mistracking is first observed, typically at the tail pulley or return idlers. Adjustments should be made incrementally, allowing the belt to make several revolutions between adjustments. Question 77. What is the purpose of a screw conveyor's trough liner? A. Reduce noise during operation. B. Increase conveyor throughput speed. C. Protect the trough from abrasive wear and extend service life. D. Reduce motor power consumption. The correct answer is C. Protect the trough from abrasive wear and extend service life. Trough liners protect the trough from abrasive wear caused by the conveyed material. Made from materials like UHMW plastic or hardened steel, they extend equipment life and are replaceable when worn. Question 78. What must be verified when replacing a screw conveyor flight section? A. Material thickness matches trough specifications. B. Weld quality meets structural requirements. C. Section weight matches original components. D. Flight pitch and rotation direction match existing sections. The correct answer is D. Flight pitch and rotation direction match existing sections. When replacing screw conveyor flights, verify the pitch, distance per revolution, and rotation direction match the existing conveyor. Mismatched flights cause inefficient material movement and potential binding. Question 79. A pneumatic conveying system is experiencing frequent line blockages. What is the most likely cause? A. Conveying velocity too low, causing material to drop out. B. Conveying velocity is excessively high. C. Pipeline diameter is oversized for the application. D. Rotary airlock is feeding too slowly. The correct answer is A. Conveying velocity too low, causing material to drop out. Low conveying velocity allows material to settle and accumulate in the line, causing blockages. The minimum velocity to keep material suspended must be maintained. Increasing air velocity or reducing material feed rate corrects this. Question 80. What inspection is critical for bucket elevator maintenance? A. Casing interior surface condition. B. Belt or chain tension and bucket attachment bolt tightness. C. Elevator discharge chute angle. D. Boot section sump depth measurement. The correct answer is B. Belt or chain tension and bucket attachment bolt tightness. Belt over chain tension and bucket attachment integrity are critical. Loose buckets can detach and cause severe damage. Proper tension prevents slippage and ensures consistent bucket positioning at discharge and loading points. Question 81. What type of pump is classified as a positive displacement pump? A. Centrifugal pump. B. Axial flow pump. C. Gear pump. D. Mixed flow pump. The correct answer is C. Gear pump. Gear pumps are positive displacement pumps that move a fixed volume per revolution. Unlike centrifugal pumps that use velocity, positive displacement pumps trap and move discrete volumes of fluid. Question 82. When installing a centrifugal pump, why must the suction piping be properly supported? A. To facilitate future pipe modifications. B. To increase the flow rate capacity. C. To reduce vibration transmission to the floor. D. To prevent strain on the pump casing that could cause misalignment. The correct answer is D. To prevent strain on the pump casing that could cause misalignment. Suction piping must be independently supported to prevent its weight from straining the pump casing. Pipe strain causes misalignment, premature bearing and seal failure, and reduced pump efficiency. Question 83. A centrifugal pump is cavitating. What operating condition change would most likely correct this? A. Reduce suction lift or increase suction head. B. Increase the discharge pressure setting. C. Increase pump rotational speed. D. Partially close the discharge valve. The correct answer is A. Reduce suction lift or increase suction head. Cavitation occurs when suction pressure drops below the fluid's vapor pressure. Reducing suction lift, or increasing available NPSH, by lowering the pump, raising the supply tank, or reducing suction line losses corrects cavitation. Question 84. What is the function of wear rings in a centrifugal pump? A. Support the motor shaft coupling. B. Provide a replaceable close clearance seal between impeller and casing. C. Lubricate the pump bearings. D. Dynamically balance the impeller. The correct answer is B. Provide a replaceable close clearance seal between impeller and casing. Wear rings provide a replaceable close clearance seal between the rotating impeller and stationary casing. They minimize internal recirculation from discharge back to suction, maintaining pump efficiency. Question 85. When replacing mechanical seals, what condition must the seal faces be in? A. Lightly scored to provide initial lubrication. B. Pre-coated with assembly lubricant. C. Absolutely clean and free of any contamination or damage. D. Treated with anti-seize compound. The correct answer is C. Absolutely clean and free of any contamination or damage. Mechanical seal faces must be pristine, clean, undamaged, and contamination-free. Even fingerprints can cause seal failure. Handle seals by their outer edges and install immediately after unpacking. Question 86. What is the correct procedure for priming a centrifugal pump? A. Start the pump dry to create initial suction. B. Add lubricating oil to the impeller chamber. C. Run at reduced speed until primed. D. Fill the pump casing and suction line completely with liquid, venting all air. The correct answer is D. Fill the pump casing and suction line completely with liquid, venting all air. Centrifugal pumps cannot pump air and must be primed by filling the casing and suction line with liquid and venting all air. Running dry causes rapid damage to seals and internal components from lack of lubrication. Question 87. In a reciprocating compressor, what is the purpose of the intercooler between stages? A. Cool compressed air to reduce volume and power for next stage. B. Increase air velocity between stages. C. Lubricate the piston rings. D. Filter particulate contaminants. The correct answer is A. Cool compressed air to reduce volume and power for next stage. Intercoolers cool the compressed air between stages. Cooling reduces air volume and temperature, decreasing the work required for the next compression stage and improving overall efficiency. Question 88. What must be checked when inspecting reciprocating compressor valves? A. Valve gasket compression thickness. B. Valve plate condition, seat wear, and spring tension. C. Valve port area measurements. D. Valve mounting bolt torque values. The correct answer is B. Valve plate condition, seat wear, and spring tension. Inspect valve plates for cracks, wear, and warping. Check seats for erosion and pitting. Verify spring tension is correct. Worn valves cause inefficiency, overheating, and reduced output. Question 89. A rotary screw compressor is discharging air at higher than normal temperature. What should be investigated first? A. Motor amperage draw and voltage levels. B. Inlet air filter restriction indicator. C. Oil level, oil cooler condition, and oil separator element. D. Discharge pressure relief valve setting. The correct answer is C. Oil level, oil cooler condition, and oil separator element. High discharge temperature typically indicates cooling system problems. Check oil level, oil cooler for blockage or fouling, and oil separator element condition. Low oil or restricted cooling causes overheating. Question 90. What is the function of the oil separator in a rotary screw compressor? A. Inject oil into the compression chamber. B. Cool the drive motor windings. C. Filter incoming atmospheric air. D. Remove oil from compressed air before it enters the system. The correct answer is D. Remove oil from compressed air before it enters the system. The oil separator removes lubricating oil from the compressed air discharge. Oil is recovered for reuse while clean, dry air is delivered to the system. A clogged separator increases oil carryover. Question 91. What distinguishes a centrifugal fan from an axial fan? A. Centrifugal fans discharge air perpendicular to the inlet axis. B. Centrifugal fans operate at higher speeds. C. Axial fans generate higher static pressure. D. Centrifugal fans require less maintenance. The correct answer is A. Centrifugal fans discharge air perpendicular to the inlet axis. Centrifugal fans discharge air at 90 degrees to the inlet. Air enters axially, exits radially. Axial fans move air parallel to the shaft axis. This affects installation orientation and ductwork design. Question 92. When balancing a fan wheel, where should correction weights be added? A. Distributed evenly around the wheel. B. At the point directly opposite the indicated heavy spot. C. At the indicated heavy spot location. D. On the shaft between bearings. The correct answer is B. At the point directly opposite the indicated heavy spot. Balance correction weights are added opposite the heavy spot indicated by the balancing instrument. This counteracts the unbalance force. Start with the largest indicated unbalance and work progressively smaller. Question 93. An induced draft fan handling hot gases is experiencing rapid bearing failures. What is the most probable cause? A. Bearing internal clearance is too tight. B. Fan rotational speed exceeds design limits. C. Heat from the gas stream is reaching the bearings. D. Inlet ductwork restriction is too high. The correct answer is C. Heat from the gas stream is reaching the bearings. Heat conduction from hot gas to bearings is a common problem. Solutions include shaft cooling, extended bearing pedestals, heat shields, or forced bearing cooling. High temperatures degrade lubricant and reduce bearing life. Question 94. What clearance is critical when installing a centrifugal fan wheel? A. Clearance between wheel and housing sides. B. Clearance between blades and scroll cutoff. C. Clearance between shaft and bearing seals. D. Clearance between wheel inlet and inlet cone, inlet gap. The correct answer is D. Clearance between wheel inlet and inlet cone, inlet gap. The clearance between the wheel inlet and the inlet cone, cutoff, is critical for fan performance. Too large a gap allows air recirculation and reduces efficiency. Follow manufacturer specifications exactly. Question 95. What type of mixer is commonly used for high viscosity materials? A. Helical ribbon or anchor mixer. B. Propeller mixer. C. Marine impeller. D. High-speed turbine mixer. The correct answer is A. Helical ribbon or anchor mixer. Helical ribbon and anchor mixers are designed for high-viscosity materials. Their large blade surface area moves material at the wall toward the center. Propeller and turbine mixers are ineffective in viscous fluids. Question 96. When installing an agitator seal, what must be ensured about the shaft? A. Shaft surface finish meets seal requirements. B. Shaft runout is within seal manufacturer specifications. C. Shaft material is compatible with process fluid. D. Shaft hardness exceeds minimum specification. The correct answer is B. Shaft runout is within seal manufacturer specifications. Shaft runout must be within the seal's tolerance to prevent premature seal failure. Excessive runout causes uneven seal face loading and leakage. Check and correct runout before seal installation. Question 97. In a heat exchanger, what does fouling cause? A. Increased heat transfer rate. B. Lower outlet fluid temperature. C. Reduced heat transfer efficiency and higher pressure drop. D. Reduced tube vibration. The correct answer is C. Reduced heat transfer efficiency and higher pressure drop. Fouling deposits on heat transfer surfaces, insulates surfaces and restricts flow passages. This reduces heat transfer efficiency, increases pressure drop, and requires more energy to achieve the same heating or cooling. Question 98. During a shell and tube heat exchanger inspection, tubes are found bulged near the tube sheet. What caused this? A. Normal operational wear pattern. B. Tubes were installed in reverse orientation. C. Tube material specification was incorrect. D. Thermal expansion stress from improper startup or temperature cycling. The correct answer is D. Thermal expansion stress from improper startup or temperature cycling. Tube bulging near tube sheets indicates thermal expansion stress, often from rapid startup or severe temperature cycling. Proper startup procedures with gradual heating prevent differential expansion damage. Question 99. What is the primary function of a hydraulic reservoir? A. Store fluid, allow contaminants to settle, and dissipate heat. B. Generate system pressure. C. Filter inlet air only. D. Increase fluid flow velocity. The correct answer is A. Store fluid, allow contaminants to settle, and dissipate heat. The reservoir stores hydraulic fluid, provides space for contaminants to settle, dissipates heat through its walls, and allows entrained air to escape. Proper sizing ensures adequate heat dissipation and fluid conditioning. Question 100. When filling a hydraulic reservoir, what precaution prevents contamination? A. Pour fluid rapidly to minimize air exposure. B. Filter new fluid through a transfer filter before adding to the system. C. Add fluid from any available container. D. Mix compatible fluid types for better performance. The correct answer is B. Filter new fluid through a transfer filter before adding to the system. New hydraulic fluid should be filtered during transfer. Even new fluid from sealed containers can contain contaminants exceeding system cleanliness requirements. Use dedicated transfer equipment with filters. Question 101. What type of hydraulic pump provides constant flow regardless of pressure? A. Pressure compensated pump. B. Variable displacement pump. C. Fixed displacement pump. D. Load sensing pump. The correct answer is C. Fixed displacement pump. Fixed displacement pumps deliver a constant flow for a given speed, regardless of system pressure. They are simpler and less expensive but generate more heat when flow is bypassed through relief valves. Question 102. Before starting a hydraulic system after pump replacement, what must be done? A. Start immediately at full speed. B. Run the pump dry for initial priming. C. Bypass all filters temporarily. D. Fill the pump case with clean hydraulic fluid and jog the motor briefly. The correct answer is D. Fill the pump case with clean hydraulic fluid and jog the motor briefly. Fill the pump case with fluid before starting to provide initial lubrication. Jog the motor briefly to prime the pump before allowing continuous operation. Running a pump dry, even momentarily, causes severe damage. Question 103. A hydraulic cylinder extends but creeps back under load. What is the most likely cause? A. Internal seal leakage in the cylinder allowing fluid to bypass. B. Pump displacement is oversized. C. Reservoir is overfilled. D. Motor speed is too high. The correct answer is A. Internal seal leakage in the cylinder allowing fluid to bypass. Cylinder drift under load indicates internal leakage past worn piston seals. Fluid bypasses from the high-pressure side to the low-pressure side. Replace the piston seals and inspect the cylinder bore for scoring. Question 104. When replacing hydraulic cylinder seals, what must be inspected? A. Cylinder mounting bracket dimensions. B. Piston rod and cylinder bore for scratches, scoring, or corrosion. C. Hydraulic line fitting thread specifications. D. Cylinder stroke length measurements. The correct answer is B. Piston rod and cylinder bore for scratches, scoring, or corrosion. Inspect the piston rod and bore surfaces for damage that would quickly destroy new seals. Any scoring, scratches, or corrosion must be addressed. Polish minor imperfections, replace severely damaged components. Question 105. What is the purpose of a pilot-operated check valve in a hydraulic circuit? A. Regulate maximum system pressure. B. Filter fluid particulates. C. Allow reverse flow only when pilot pressure is applied. D. Cool fluid through expansion. The correct answer is C. Allow reverse flow only when pilot pressure is applied. Pilot-operated check valves allow free flow in one direction and block flow in the reverse direction unless pilot pressure opens the check. This allows cylinders to be held in position until commanded to move. Question 106. When troubleshooting a hydraulic directional control valve, what indicates internal leakage? A. Valve spool moves freely when tested by hand. B. Valve solenoid energizes with an audible click. C. Valve body is warm during normal operation. D. Cylinder moves slowly or drifts when valve is in neutral. The correct answer is D. Cylinder moves slowly or drifts when valve is in neutral. Internal valve leakage allows fluid to bypass, causing slow actuator movement or drift when the valve should be blocking flow. Excessive leakage indicates worn spools or bores requiring valve replacement or rebuild. Question 107. What causes hydraulic fluid to foam excessively? A. Air entering the system through leaks or low fluid level. B. Fluid viscosity is too high for the application. C. Fluid temperature is below operating range. D. Return line is submerged too deeply in reservoir. The correct answer is A. Air entering the system through leaks or low fluid level. Foaming occurs when air enters the system through suction leaks, low reservoir level, or return lines discharging above fluid level. Air entrainment causes erratic operation, noise, overheating, and accelerated component wear. Question 108. Hydraulic system pressure is lower than normal and the pump is noisy. What should be investigated? A. Increase the relief valve pressure setting. B. Check for cavitation caused by suction restriction or air leak. C. Reduce the reservoir capacity. D. Add fluid without checking current level. The correct answer is B. Check for cavitation caused by suction restriction or air leak. Noise with low pressure suggests pump cavitation from inadequate suction flow. Check suction strainer for blockage, suction line for restrictions or air leaks, fluid level, and fluid viscosity. Cavitation rapidly destroys pumps. Question 109. What is the correct method to check hydraulic system operating pressure? A. Calculate from motor nameplate power rating. B. Monitor pump noise level during operation. C. Install a calibrated pressure gauge at the pump outlet and compare to specifications. D. Check fluid reservoir temperature reading. The correct answer is C. Install a calibrated pressure gauge at the pump outlet and compare to specifications. Use a calibrated pressure gauge installed at an appropriate test point. Compare readings to system specifications. Pressure should be stable at settings, fluctuations indicate problems. Never exceed component ratings. Question 110. What is the function of an aftercooler in a compressed air system? A. Heat the air for process applications. B. Increase the air pressure output. C. Filter particulate matter only. D. Cool compressed air and condense moisture for removal. The correct answer is D. Cool compressed air and condense moisture for removal. Aftercoolers cool compressed air immediately after the compressor, condensing most of the moisture vapor into liquid for removal. This prevents water accumulation in downstream piping and equipment. Question 111. How should compressed air distribution piping be sloped? A. Sloped downward in the direction of airflow with drain legs at low points. B. Installed level in all applications. C. Sloped upward toward point of use. D. Installed vertically wherever possible. The correct answer is A. Sloped downward in the direction of airflow with drain legs at low points. Main headers should slope downward in the flow direction, 1:100 minimum, with drain legs at low points to collect condensate. This prevents water from traveling to pneumatic equipment and causing damage. Question 112. What is the purpose of an FRL unit in pneumatic systems? A. Boost pressure beyond compressor rating. B. Filter, regulate, and lubricate air for pneumatic equipment. C. Generate compressed air locally. D. Heat the airstream for process needs. The correct answer is B. Filter, regulate, and lubricate air for pneumatic equipment. FRL, filter regulator lubricator, units condition air at point of use. The filter removes particles and moisture, the regulator provides stable downstream pressure, and the lubricator adds oil mist for equipment requiring lubrication. Question 113. When adjusting a pneumatic pressure regulator, in which direction should adjustment begin? A. Start at maximum and decrease gradually. B. Either direction produces equivalent results. C. Start below desired pressure and increase slowly while observing the gauge. D. Regulators self-adjust automatically. The correct answer is C. Start below desired pressure and increase slowly while observing the gauge. Start below the desired setting and increase pressure slowly while observing the downstream gauge. This prevents overshooting and allows precise setting. Some regulators require specific adjustment procedures. Question 114. A pneumatic cylinder is moving slower than normal. What is the most likely cause? A. Cylinder bore is oversized for application. B. Supply pressure exceeds requirements. C. Lubricator oil level is excessive. D. Flow control valve is restricted or there is an air leak reducing available pressure. The correct answer is D. Flow control valve is restricted or there is an air leak reducing available pressure. Slow cylinder movement indicates restricted airflow, clogged filter, restricted flow control, or pressure loss, air leaks, undersized supply. Check flow controls, filter condition, supply pressure, and listen for leaks. Question 115. What maintenance is required for pneumatic cylinder rod seals? A. Keep the rod clean, check for damage, and ensure proper lubrication if required. B. No routine maintenance is needed. C. Replace seals monthly regardless of condition. D. Lubricate exclusively with lithium grease. The correct answer is A. Keep the rod clean, check for damage, and ensure proper lubrication if required. Maintain clean rod surfaces and inspect for damage that destroys seals. Ensure proper lubrication reaches the seals, oil mist or pre-lubed seals. Replace seals at signs of leakage before complete failure. Question 116. What type of pneumatic valve is used for on-off control of air to a cylinder? A. Flow control valve. B. Directional control valve, solenoid or mechanically operated. C. Pressure relief valve. D. Check valve. The correct answer is B. Directional control valve, solenoid or mechanically operated. Directional control valves route air to either side of a cylinder for extension or retraction. They may be solenoid operated, electrically controlled, mechanically operated, or pilot operated depending on application. Question 117. When replacing a pneumatic solenoid valve, what must be verified? A. Valve body material matches existing installation. B. Valve is the oldest available in inventory. C. Port size, configuration, voltage, and flow capacity match the application. D. Valve can be mounted in any orientation. The correct answer is C. Port size, configuration, voltage, and flow capacity match the application. Verify replacement valve specifications, port size and thread type, port configuration, two-way, three-way, etc., solenoid voltage, and flow capacity, CV rating. Incorrect valves cause malfunction or failure. Question 118. Why are quick exhaust valves used in pneumatic circuits? A. To slow cylinder movement for precision. B. To reduce air consumption. C. To filter exhaust air before release. D. To increase cylinder speed by venting exhaust air directly to atmosphere. The correct answer is D. To increase cylinder speed by venting exhaust air directly to atmosphere. Quick exhaust valves mount at cylinder ports to exhaust air directly to atmosphere instead of through control valve and tubing. This dramatically increases cylinder speed by eliminating exhaust backpressure and flow restriction. Question 119. How should pneumatic system air leaks be located? A. Accept them as normal system losses. B. Wait until complete component failure. C. Feel for escaping air with bare hands. D. Apply soapy water solution and look for bubbles, or use ultrasonic leak detector. The correct answer is D. Apply soapy water solution and look for bubbles, or use ultrasonic leak detector. Apply soapy water to suspected leak areas and observe for bubbles. Ultrasonic leak detectors are effective for finding leaks while the system is operating. Repair all leaks promptly, they waste energy and reduce system capacity. Question 120. What is the primary goal of a preventive maintenance program? A. Prevent equipment failure through scheduled inspections and maintenance. B. Repair equipment only after it fails. C. Reduce the number of maintenance staff. D. Eliminate all maintenance-related costs. The correct answer is A. Prevent equipment failure through scheduled inspections and maintenance. Preventive maintenance aims to prevent unexpected failures through regular scheduled inspections, adjustments, and component replacement. This extends equipment life, improves reliability, and reduces costly emergency repairs. Question 121. When developing a PM schedule, what information is essential? A. Employee shift schedules and break times. B. Manufacturer recommendations, operating conditions, and equipment history. C. Building construction date and floor plans. D. Individual supervisor preferences only. The correct answer is B. Manufacturer recommendations, operating conditions, and equipment history. Effective PM scheduling requires manufacturer maintenance recommendations, actual operating conditions, hours, environment, load, and equipment failure history. These factors determine appropriate inspection intervals and tasks. Question 122. What should be documented after completing a PM inspection? A. No special documentation is required. B. Time of day the inspection was completed. C. Readings, observations, work performed, and any deficiencies found. D. Ambient weather conditions only. The correct answer is C. Readings, observations, work performed, and any deficiencies found. Document all measurements, observations, work completed, and problems discovered. This record tracks equipment condition trends, validates maintenance effectiveness, and provides data for improving the PM program. Question 123. PM inspections repeatedly find the same deficiency on a machine. What action should be taken? A. Continue documenting without further action. B. Reduce the inspection frequency. C. Assign different inspection personnel. D. Investigate root cause and modify PM tasks or equipment to address the recurring issue. The correct answer is D. Investigate root cause and modify PM tasks or equipment to address the recurring issue. Recurring deficiencies indicate a systemic issue. Investigate root cause. It may require design modification, operating procedure changes, or different PM tasks. Simply documenting without action wastes resources. Question 124. What is the purpose of maintaining equipment history records? A. Track maintenance costs, identify failure patterns, and support maintenance decisions. B. Meet regulatory compliance requirements only. C. Monitor employee work performance. D. Control spare parts inventory levels only. The correct answer is A. Track maintenance costs, identify failure patterns, and support maintenance decisions. Equipment history reveals failure patterns, maintenance costs, and component life data. This information supports decisions on PM intervals, spare parts stocking, repair versus replace analysis, and equipment replacement planning. Question 125. When performing PM on critical equipment, what should be verified before releasing to operations? A. Equipment exterior surfaces have been cleaned. B. All guards are in place, lockout removed properly, and equipment operates correctly. C. Administrative work orders have been filed. D. Maintenance tools have been returned to storage. The correct answer is B. All guards are in place, lockout removed properly, and equipment operates correctly. Before releasing equipment, verify all guards and safety devices are reinstalled, lockout tagout is properly removed, and the equipment operates correctly. Run test cycles and confirm with operations before returning to service. Question 126. What does vibration analysis measure to predict bearing failure? A. Bearing operating temperature only. B. bearing housing surface condition. C. Vibration frequency and amplitude patterns that indicate specific fault conditions. D. Bearing lubrication viscosity. The correct answer is C. Vibration frequency and amplitude patterns that indicate specific fault conditions. Vibration analysis identifies characteristic frequency patterns from bearing defects, imbalance, misalignment, and other faults. Trending amplitude changes over time predicts when bearings need replacement before failure. Question 127. For consistent vibration readings, what must be maintained? A. Random measurement locations each time. B. Different collection times each reading. C. Varying instrument sensitivity settings. D. Same measurement points, equipment operating conditions, and sensor mounting. The correct answer is D. Same measurement points, equipment operating conditions, and sensor mounting. Consistent data requires identical measurement points, marked permanently, same operating conditions, speed, load, temperature, and consistent sensor mounting. Variations make trend comparisons meaningless. Question 128. What condition can infrared thermography detect in electrical systems? A. Hotspots indicating loose connections, overloaded circuits, or failing components. B. Insulation resistance values. C. Circuit voltage and current levels. D. Wire conductor gauge sizes. The correct answer is A. Hotspots indicating loose connections, overloaded circuits, or failing components. Infrared thermography reveals abnormal heat patterns from loose connections, overloaded circuits, faulty components, and other electrical problems. Early detection prevents fires, equipment damage, and unplanned outages. Question 129. Oil analysis shows increasing iron particle counts in a gearbox. What does this indicate? A. Normal operating conditions. B. Gear or bearing wear is accelerating and inspection or maintenance is needed. C. Oil additive package is depleted. D. Oil operating temperature is too low. The correct answer is B. Gear or bearing wear is accelerating and inspection or maintenance is needed. Rising ferrous particle counts indicate accelerating wear of steel components, gears, bearings. Trending data shows wear rate. Schedule inspection to identify worn components before catastrophic failure. Question 130. How should ultrasonic testing be used for leak detection? A. Test equipment only when completely shut down. B. Rely on visual inspection methods only. C. Scan pressurized systems while operating and listen for high-frequency sounds at leak points. D. Perform testing only after complete failure occurs. The correct answer is C. Scan pressurized systems while operating and listen for high-frequency sounds at leak points. Ultrasonic detectors sense high-frequency sound from turbulent flow at leaks. Scan operating systems systematically, focusing on joints, fittings, and seals. The detector converts ultrasound to audible frequencies. Question 131. What is the purpose of commissioning new equipment? A. To test coating durability under operating conditions. B. To confirm equipment meets nameplate specifications. C. To determine the equipment purchase cost. D. To verify equipment operates correctly and meets design specifications before handover to operations. The correct answer is D. To verify equipment operates correctly and meets design specifications before handover to operations. Commissioning verifies that newly installed or modified equipment operates correctly and meets all design specifications before being handed over to operations. This includes functional testing, safety system verification, and performance validation. Question 132. Before commissioning rotating equipment, what alignment verification is required? A. Verify shaft alignment is within specifications and coupling gap is correct. B. Confirm equipment serial numbers match purchase documentation. C. Verify equipment mounting height matches design drawings. D. check that equipment weight matches shipping manifest. The correct answer is A. Verify shaft alignment is within specifications and coupling gap is correct. Shaft alignment must be verified within manufacturer specifications before commissioning. Proper coupling gap and alignment prevent premature bearing and seal failure. Document baseline alignment readings for future reference. Question 133. During a gearbox run-in procedure, oil samples show elevated metal particles. What action should be taken? A. Continue running as elevated particles are always normal during break-in. B. Stop and investigate if particle levels exceed manufacturer's break-in limits. C. Increase operating speed to flush particles more quickly. D. Drain the oil and continue running to eliminate the contamination. The correct answer is B. Stop and investigate if particle levels exceed manufacturer's break-in limits. While some wear particles are normal during run-in, levels exceeding manufacturer limits indicate abnormal wear requiring investigation. Check alignment, oil level, gear mesh pattern, and bearing condition before continuing. Question 134. What documentation must be completed during commissioning? A. Only verbal reporting to supervision is required. B. No formal documentation is required for standard equipment. C. Baseline operating parameters, test results, and any deviations from specifications. D. Only the equipment identification and serial number. The correct answer is C. Baseline operating parameters, test results, and any deviations from specifications. Commissioning documentation includes baseline readings, vibration, temperature, pressure, flow, all test results, any deviations from design specifications, and corrective actions taken. This establishes the reference for future maintenance. Question 135. When decommissioning equipment for long-term storage, what preservation steps are critical? A. Disconnect power and leave equipment in operating configuration. B. Remove all lubricants to prevent leakage during storage. C. Apply preservative coatings, protect against corrosion, and seal openings against moisture. D. Document only the equipment location in storage. The correct answer is C. Apply preservative coatings, protect against corrosion, and seal openings against moisture. Long-term preservation requires corrosion-preventive coatings on machined surfaces, sealing all openings against moisture and contamination, proper storage position, and periodic rotation of shafts. Document the preservation method for future recommissioning. Thanks for watching Factorial. If you found this helpful, please subscribe for more Red Seal exam prep. Visit questionbankhub.com for practice exams and study materials. Good luck on your certification Factorial.